Welcome to The Engaging Life, a podcast about using engagement equity to improve your relationship building skills in your personal and professional life. And now, here are your hosts, Brandon Suba and Angela Cheney.
Hi there, Brandon.
Angie, what's happening?
Oh, all kinds of things.
It is.
Thursday afternoon.
It is?
The temperature dropped like 40 degrees in a couple of hours.
Yep. When I started watching the news in the morning when I was getting ready, it was 60 degrees. And by the time, hour later, I'm taking the girls, it was 40 degrees.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
Day's not supposed to go like that. It's supposed to get progressively warmer.
Welcome to the Midwest.
Not
it's
colder.
It's later in the season.
It is.
It's fine.
So, yes, that time of year, everybody's favorite. It's dark at 5 o'clock.
They're eliminating daylight savings time, right?
They are for sure?
Nope, I don't know. But I heard we will go forward, right? You spring forward.
And fall back.
But this is our last.
We ain't falling back?
Nope, this was our last fallback. They're going to exit.
Okay.
So
That'll be interesting.
I like the extra hour. I wish we could just keep dropping back. And then eventually, like midnight is noon.
Fantastic
That's not gonna
idea.
work.
People are going to get a little bit messed up.
Yeah.
So today we are going, and I'm going to state this two different ways. I'm not sure yet exactly what the title of this podcast is going to be because there's kind of two different things going on here, but they're the same thing.
Right.
So it's getting results versus being liked. And that's, really more the business side of it, but it can be both. And then the other side is being respected versus being liked. So they're similar, yet they have some differences, but we're going to talk about both today.
Okay.
So the reason this came about here at Pixelfire, we are working to develop our customer journey.
Ooh.
And develop customer avatars. So we're getting into that high level stuff. We're like a real company now.
Wow.
And developing, kind of this journey that we want to take customers on. And as we were talking, the end goal in all of this, and I don't know if I've talked about the customer journey on my last podcast, but I don't think we've talked about it here. But the end goal of the customer journey is to make them into basically salespeople for you.
Got it.
That they are selling for you because they are so happy about the service that they've gotten. You're not paying them.
Right.
But they're still selling for you. So to make them advocates of your business. And a couple steps before that is to get them talking about you and giving you referrals. Okay. And Dan, my business partner, made a very good point. Even wrote it up on the board. I know he made a good point. Let's celebrate.
Sorry,
Dan always listens to this podcast,
know
so
he
we
does.
have to insult him every once in a while, or more so than every once in a while. So what he put is, happy clients do not give referrals. Successful clients give referrals.
Ooh.
And I thought that was really interesting. It really made me stop to think and play it into this whole being liked versus getting results. Because I think that's where our company definitely errs on the wrong side of the fence there.
Okay.
Is we want to be likable. We want our clients to like us. We want it to be an easy, smooth, process. We want all of this. And that's great. It's rare that we have a client who doesn't like us.
Right.
But that does not always equate with getting them results. And they didn't come to Pixelfire Marketing to make a few new friends.
What? Really?
I know.
Not paying you for friends. Huh?
No.
Yeah.
They came here to get results and to get more business or get a new website that looks great or whatever it is they're coming to us for. But so that's what I wanted to talk about today. The difference between being liked and getting results, which is kind of the same thing as being liked versus respected, because they could walk out of here saying they're great people, but I don't respect them as a company because they didn't get me any results.
Yep.
Okay.
I think a lot of salespeople are liked because salespeople are nice, right? Everyone likes, but it doesn't translate to closed deals.
It does not.
Nope.
It does not. So what does getting results for your clients look like? Sometimes it means telling them things that they don't want to hear. There are many times that we'll have clients come in and either A, they have all these wild expectations and think they can get them for $200 a month. Or maybe
not a month, but like you'll get these in a week, right? Like, can I get these clients in a week?
Sometimes it's hey, that website that your nephew did for you stinks.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's that.
It's common.
But telling them things they don't want to hear, and they're not probably going to like you very much at the time when you tell them those things. But that's part of getting results.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing is pushing them. If a lot people come to us, they may not realize it, but they come to us because we're the experts, but then they try and fight us on what they think they should do. Or, they're complacent, or they don't want to spend what they need to spend, or, they don't want to do the things that we know it takes to get results. And so pushing them, again, they're probably not going to like you very much at the time.
Right.
And this is with anybody. It's not just clients. I mean, I've had friends before who I have had to specifically, they're bitching, and they're not doing anything about it. And I've had to specifically stop and be like, okay, I need to know what you want from me here.
Yeah.
Do you just want to vent, or do you really want some solutions? Because this is getting old.
And what more common, it's just venting, isn't it?
Usually, sometimes I'll ask for the worst are the ones who say, no, I want advice. And then they don't take it. And then it's just like, whatever.
You know what I call them?
Mm.
Those are ask holes.
Yeah.
I love that one.
Yeah. And at least, if they tell me, yeah, I'm just venting.
Yep.
Great. And that Todd and I have gotten a lot better at this.
Liz and I have gotten better at this.
Asking in the beginning or sometimes we'll just tell each other in the beginning, hey, I just need to vent right now. I don't want to fix anything.
Yep. Don't fix this. I don't want anything, but just listen.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if that has not happened, we'll catch ourselves. Well, you know what you should... do you just want me to listen? And sometimes the answer is yes. Sometimes I really do want advice, or he really wants advice, or whatever it is. But anyway, pushing them sometimes means getting them out of their comfort zone. Mm. And unlike a friend, we're not here just to hear you vent about your bad marketing or your bad website. That there's not a question there. If that's all you want to do, leave.
Yeah, go
talk to somebody else.
Friends.
Yeah,
yep.
We're here to provide solutions. We are here to fix the problem at all times. We are not the supportive spouse who's going to hear you vent. That's what we're here for. We're here to fix your problems.
At all times.
Sometimes getting results and being respected also means firing clients or not taking on their business. And this is something we've had to learn. When we started, we were taking anything. I think people could have come to us and said, can you get me into the circus? And we would have said, yes.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. Because we were just taking on everything we possibly could.
I have a question on that.
Yes.
Should a new business not take that approach?
No.
Okay, that is a good approach as a new business, right?
No.
Taking on everything.
No, that's a terrible approach.
Really?
That's a terrible
See, that's
approach.
my sales brain. My sales brain is like, no, I'll go to every appointment. I'll take on everybody.
No. You need to figure out what you're doing.
I'm usually anti-scarcity mindset, but on that one, I would have scarcity mindset.
Don't do that, because we had a lot of unhappy clients because we promised them stuff we couldn't do. And we also had a lot of near misses. I remember, I think there was just 3 of us at the time, me, Dan, and we had one employee. And we almost took on, now I can't even remember, it was a humongous contract. And I mean, and we were saying, yes, we could do it. And the whole time I'm just like, I wanted to pee my pants. I'm like, if they give this to us,
get this deal.
There's absolutely no way we can do this. And luckily, we didn't get it.
Good, yeah.
But we were not going to say no. And it was just like, well, we'll figure it out. That was and we wouldn't have figured it out at all. But anyway, sometimes it's being able to fire a client or not take them on in the first place. We've gotten a few here as we have streamlined where they just want a few blogs written a month. I don't want them anymore. Yep. It's somebody else can give them a lot more personal hand holding and whatever they want. We're taking on the bigger ones now that are doing multiple things, and it all plays, we still do blog writing,
right? But
it plays into the bigger picture. We've had others who come in and they clearly want PR. They want public relations. We are not a public relations firm. Right. I don't. And Dan sometimes makes a mistake because I worked for the business magazine. He's like, you know what press releases are like. We can do this. And I'm like, no, those were their own press releases. I don't know how to write them AP style and get them on the wire. And I don't know how to do it. I don't want to do it.
Right.
So if any of the clients kind of start talking PR, put them over to a PR agency.
Okay. Can I interject one thing here?
Sure.
This is a great way to find referrals within your own industry. Because like Angela said, we don't just do 1 and 2 blogs now. It's kind of a whole package. And I'm not committing her to that. Just want to be very clear. But then what if somebody's trying to get started as a writer and you're like, you know what? This person has the time to hold your hand and to really do. That's a referral within your own industry.
Yes.
Which I think is awesome.
Oh, absolutely.
Awesome.
We never turn down a client or tell them we can't do anything without giving them a resource.
Cool.
To find, and that's kind of one of the things we do. We have video resource, we have PR resources, we have the stuff that we don't do. We have good people to put them over to. So it's not just like, sorry, bye-bye. And
that's another piece of the whole networking world.
Yes.
To have those networks, you can trust who you're sending your client to.
Yes.
Cool.
So now I want to go a little bit more into being liked versus being respected. And like I said, they're very similar because being respected is getting the results you want. So they're very similar, but I'm going to read some stuff for you because I did some research.
Who are we reading today?
Oh, this is a Haas School of Business at the University of California, Berkeley.
Oh, okay.
So he's a scientist. His name's Cameron Anderson. And he states that overall happiness in life is related to how much you are respected by those around you. Nevertheless, when we sacrifice what it takes to be respected for the quicker and often easier win of feeling liked, we lose out on the benefits that respect yields.
Ooh.
And I'm going to go into this later, so I won't say it now. But I have something to say about that with parenting too, because that's a tough little thing. But I do have a section on parenthood at the end of this because I can't ever just talk about business.
I like talking about parenthood.
But that I think that's really interesting because I think if you would ask the normal person on the street, is your overall well-being and happiness more linked to how many people like you or how many people respect you? I think a lot of people would probably say liked.
Right, because social media, likes. Like I just think
I'm a likable person.
Yeah,
everybody
being
likes
liked doesn't translate, but in our brains, it's very much.
It's very.
Oh no, I'm cool with them.
So professionals, so let's get back to kind of the leadership world. Professionals who want and often need to feel liked tend to seek positive attention and approval. So you got the attention seekers and the positive, the people who want the, do you like my suit? Do you like all of that?
I literally talk about my polo like every time before we start recording. Oh, I fit into this category.
No. Engage in gossip rather than giving direct feedback. And that is, you end up being not liked doing, where, because you don't just tell them and then they hear that she was telling him this. It's a roundabout way because you're trying to get away from they're not going to like me if I tell them this. So I'm going to tell Sally this. And not only are you making Sally not trust you because she's going to talk shit about Betty.
Yep.
She's going to talk shit about me.
Yep.
Gossip. Ugh.
Yeah.
They try to please everyone. They're people pleasers. And so usually what ends up there is if you're trying to please everyone, who normally gets the shaft?
No, everyone?
No, the people closest to you.
Oh, right, because you're going for every...
And yourself, too.
Right.
But yeah, if you're out there trying to please everyone, you're not taking care of the people who are important. Make promises they can't keep.
My hand did not go up for that one.
That's good.
My hand did not go up.
Again, that's in the moment, I'm going to make you like me and make you happy. I'm not really going to follow up on it and do what it takes. So you're probably not going to like me down the road, but they get that quick hit. Oh, yeah. If I tell them I can give them this, their eyes are going to light up. Oh, thank you, thank you. And a lot of people just eat that up.
That's why I really tote in a networking event, not group, but an event. If you've just met someone and they're like, oh, I have a referral for you.
Yeah.
That's about as shallow as it gets.
That's this. They want to be liked.
Yep.
Or they want the other people around to be like, oh, look at John. He knows everyone. Yeah. Keep strong opinions to themselves. Don't want to rock the boat. Don't want to rock the boat. Now, I don't think you need to have your strong opinions out there all the time at all. There are plenty of times where somebody will say something I'm like, I totally 100% disagree, but now's not the time or the place.
Yep.
It's the wishy-washy, oh yeah, I could do this or I could do that. I think this, but I also think this. You're right and you're also right. The super wishy-washy, yes. Oh, I agree.
Oh, yes.
Yes. That's ew.
Yeah.
But again, you don't have to have an opinion on everything. And one of the best things that I think, if you really have a strong opinion on something, I think it's okay to say it. And then also, if you don't know something, it's absolutely okay to say it. And I think that makes people like you better more.
Mm-hmm.
Like you more better.
Like
I'm
better.
not sure.
More?
Like you better. Just like you better. We don't need the or more.
I complimented
We
on
didn't-
you being a
we
wordsmith in
didn't
the
need-
last one. Come on.
Shut it. It's
You
the end of the
got
day.
this.
It's the end of the day. But saying, I honestly don't know, is showing a little bit of vulnerability. And it's saying, I'm not that jerk that has to have all the answers.
Mhm.
Because nobody can have all the answers. And if somebody's around you long enough and you tend to have all the answers, they're going to start thinking you're lying.
Oh,
Because you
yeah.
can't.
That's right.
You absolutely cannot have all the answers.
With leadership, when I was working with people in multiple different states, the one challenge I gave them near the end before I moved on in life, but was we're eliminating the saying, I think. So when you're talking to a member, if you're about to say, I think that's right, or I think you can do that, take out the I think and turn it into, I will double check, or I will look into this, and then give them the real answer, not the think. Because what happens is, if I say, you know what, I think we can refund your dues, what did you just hear as the member?
You can.
That we can.
Right.
And then when I have to come back and say, oh, yeah, we don't refund dues,
Right.
then it's
Like you lied.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. So eliminating I think helps get rid of, and then every onboarding, every person that I meet and I start relationships with, I tell them, I don't have all the answers, but I will do everything I can to find the answer I don't
Yes.
know.
There's a lot of value to that. And the other thing that you eliminate when you pretend to know everything, you eliminate them being able to shine and teach you
Oh,
something.
Yeah.
And this is in relationships too, because I can get this way. And because it's going to sound terrible. I do know a lot. I read
You know it all, do you?
extensively. So I know a lot about a lot of different things. And so when Todd and I get to talking, I tend to, oh, I do know that. Oh, I do know that. Oh, even if I don't know the complete picture. And instead of just being like, I don't know, or what do you know, and also not shining the light on him of things I know he knows
Mhm.
and letting him tell me, because he loves that. That is his hot button. Todd is a teacher at heart.
Mhm.
If you do I'm a maker is what, if you do the tendencies.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I'm a maker, which means I have to create. I'm creative. I have to write. I have to cook. I have to create something. So I'm really at the bottom of the totem pole, because this all comes from like the caste system is really where these
Is it a totem pole? Like, are you talking?
well, like the caste system in India, where
Oh,
you can't
okay.
marry between
Yes.
and the makers are actually at the bottom rung of the caste system, which is dumb.
Good thing.
but,
I don't.
and the teachers are up a few, but Todd is a natural teacher. I'm a natural maker.
Okay.
And so not letting him teach me things is just like cutting him off at the knees. That's oh my God, I just realized that. That's what happens when I see him in the kitchen making his own lunch.
Oh,
It cuts me off at the knees. I'm just like, that's my
You
thing.
know what? And I struggle with Liz in the kitchen. I do. Do you? Ooh, how does he take when you, like, okay, here's a big thing of mine. It's so dumb, and this is engraved in my mom. You don't serve off the cooktop. Like, you take the pot off the cooktop and you serve away so that
Oh.
nothing falls on the burners.
Oh, yeah.
You do that, don't you?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm a messy cook. Todd calls me the Swedish
Oh, yeah,
chef.
that's right. You just throw stuff all over.
Yeah.
So Liz does not bode well when I say, can you just take it off the
Oh.
cooktop to serve it? Like that.
See, and
never goes
I'm
well.
not about you're doing it the wrong way. I'm about, but I'm supposed to make
Yeah,
you.
no,
It's terrible.
I want to.
I got my issues. They tend to flood people with credit, compliments, and praise. People
Okay.
who want to be liked, because that's a quick hit. It's easy,
Yeah.
but it's also easy to see through if you
Well, just
know what
like
to look for.
the nicest asshole.
Yeah.
I was with the other day. Like,
Yeah.
I love being around him because he is so complimental, but I know in the backside it's like,
It's
yeah, but
bullshit.
he's kind of a jerk. So
Yeah.
Yep.
And anybody who does that without knowing you well,
Oh.
it's just like, whatever. You don't.
no.
Yeah. And I've had, well, because you're so blah, blah, blah. I'm like, haven't we met like once?
Yeah.
No,
Mm-mm.
no. They tend to play favorites, but pretend they don't. Boy.
You're just like
Ding,
hitting-
ding, ding, ding.
You are checking my list today
Yeah.
on this one.
Well, you're really my favorite, so I'm going to blah, blah, blah. And then you go to the other person. Since you're my favorite, I'm going to blah, blah, blah.
You know what my line is? You know me. We're good enough friends. I'm going to share this with you. I wouldn't tell anyone, but we're good enough friends. I'm going to share this with you.
To me.
No, we're good enough friends though, and I wouldn't tell anybody else of what we've talked about.
Such an illuminating podcast today. I'm learning so much.
No, I knew because I am the being liked guy, not the results guy. So I knew this was going to be deep.
It's going to be bad.
It's going to be deep.
They tend to use information as leverage, and they withhold it or give it away depending on what they want to achieve.
Nope, didn't have to raise my hand on that one.
Good. They give people tasks they enjoy rather than assignments that stretch and challenge them. So that would be a leadership type. That could also be a parenting.
I struggle with that one because I'm all about strength finders. So I feel a little piece of that is you're putting them in the right seat to succeed.
Okay.
But if we dig a little deeper in that, though, I think it's more you're trying to appease them so they like you better. So I'm giving you this because I know you're going to like me better when I allow you to do this.
Right. Correct. They also tend to focus more on how people feel in general and about them personally than about achieving outcomes. So I think that's a pretty normal one.
Yep.
So now professionals who recognize the importance of being respected with or without being liked, because you can have both, are more inclined to tell the truth, even if it's unpopular. Explain their thinking behind the difficult decisions they make. I think that's important. Hey, we have to let Sally go. I want you all to know that this is why we had to let Sally go.
Yep.
And telling Sally why you had to let Sally go.
So are you telling me that a business owner that just fires people and doesn't tell anyone doesn't get respected by the rest of their team?
Well, they probably aren't liked by them either, but...
Two
really,
strikes.
Yeah, really not doing either. Acknowledge the elephant in the room, even if they can't fix it. So that's, hey, we're going into a recession right now. That means that none of us get raises. I'm really sorry about that, but I just wanted you all to know that this is what's going to be happening. We're on a raise freeze for the next 6 months.
Yep. Transparent. Everyone knows. They can process it. Versus if you just don't give it.
Right.
That's 10 times.
Or give it and can't afford it and then end up having to fire Sally.
Is that why we fired Sally? I knew we shouldn't have given.
Say no when they need to. So I've had bosses who would just say yes all the time and then get mad at me later for doing it. I'm like, why didn't you tell me
That sucks.
not to do it?
Yeah, that sets you up
the
for failure.
worst. That's the worst. Be open-minded and decisive. So we talked last week about listening openly, which means you're vulnerable enough to say, they know more than me on this subject, or I was wrong in my thinking there.
Yep.
And that is a way to be respected and liked.
Yep.
I mean, that's really both. Give credit when it's due to others and also take it when it's due themselves.
Ooh, a lot of people suck at taking it. And then when we did the podcast on culture, they're really good at recognizing in the front at the beginning, but then it tapers
then it
off.
slides, yeah.
And people remember, oh, well, you used to compliment me all the time and now nothing.
But I also like having both of it because if you do one or the other all the time, it's not going to be authentic because sometimes it is you. Sometimes you did land that big client all on your own.
Yeah.
And sometimes you didn't. So, put some thinking into it. Give credit where it's due. But if it was you, you don't have to be a jerk about it. But you can admit it's you.
So don't show up with a cape and a crown and be like, I did payroll last week.
He loves me. Yeah, not that. Tolerate feelings of disappointment, frustration, sadness, and anger in themselves and in others.
I suck at this as a parent.
I was just going to say, that's a huge one with parenting.
Yep.
You don't want your kids to hurt. You don't want them to have to go through hard stuff. And this can be leaders too.
Yeah, oh
They
yeah.
don't want their employees to suffer. They don't want, and so they make bad decisions based on that.
Yep.
It's unfortunately for both parties. Got to make mistakes, got to hurt. It's the only way to grow. And you just can't fix everything for everyone.
Yes, let your kids make mistakes.
Yes.
I think we're missing that in life.
Hold people accountable for their results or for their actions, either one. So if poor Sally's
Dude,
in the shaft.
I hope she doesn't listen to this podcast. She might send a very stern email.
If Sally did an ad campaign and it totally missed the mark and the client's not happy, you got to hold Sally accountable.
Yep.
You don't have to be a jerk about it,
Nope.
but it's like, hey, Sally, this didn't work out. Let's go through why and see how we can make it better the next time.
Mhm.
Rather than just, oh yeah, Sally, your ad campaign was great.
Well, because once again,
and then you switch it to a different account rep.
Yep. Because
That's what
long
happens.
term, you didn't do Sally any favors by just, oh, you did great, but we're going to give it to Angela next time.
Right.
It
Without
is-
telling you why
It's let's,
it's confusing.
hey, you didn't do great, but let's talk about it. It works in referrals too. Hey, that wasn't a good referral, but let me tell you a few different things that would make it a good referral.
And give them another chance too.
Mhm. Oh, yes.
But you give them the tools to do better next time and give them another chance.
Yep, I would agree.
Be consistent and fair in setting rules and expectations. I think that's obvious.
I'm like smiling and laughing at all of these because I've known people to do the opposite.
Of course.
Did not go well for them.
Set and honor boundaries for themselves and others. That's an important one. What's important to me? What am I going to say no to? What am I going to say yes to? What do I not have to explain myself on? Is this living up to my values?
Right.
All of that good stuff that we've talked about.
See, I was thinking expectation, but boundary and expectation are two very different things.
They are.
Once you dug into it.
Yeah. Deliver negative feedback directly and in a timely manner. Again, they're going to respect. They might not like you, but they're going to have to respect it, and it has to be done. Ask for feedback regularly and then act on it. That is another one of my huge pet peeves as a business owner, as a leader, as a spouse, as a child, any of it. I'm going to ask you for feedback and do nothing with
And
it.
then just do the same thing next
What could I do better next time? And you tell me, and the next time I do the exact same thing I did the
Yep.
first time. Yeah, that's hard to do. Apologize when they make mistakes and then move on. So I think that people who want to be liked either avoid the whole thing and just keep going under the delusion that they're liked.
Yep.
Or they apologize and then they kind of almost suck up. Keep apologizing too much
every
and not
time.
letting
Oh,
it go.
sorry about that one time I spilled macaroni on
Yeah.
you. Sorry.
Uh-huh. Yep, let it go.
A big one with my kids on that one too, because I do apologize to my kids.
Oh,
Like
absolutely.
when I blow up, I will come back and I'll say, and sometimes I'm contradicting, I know, but I'll be like, okay, now you do understand why I was frustrated. And they'll be like,
Mhm.
yeah. And I'm like, I'm very sorry if I didn't handle it well myself. I was just in the moment, or I had 7 things going on. But every now and then I'm just like, so you know that you caused it, though, right? Like I don't say it directly, but
Do you know what you did
I'll
here?
reflect.
Yeah.
I'm like, he kind of two-handed that one, but okay, or two-sided that
Yeah.
apology.
All we can do is try.
Try.
Sometimes it
Yeah,
works, sometimes
that's
it
all we
doesn't.
can do.
And then model the behavior they expect from
Mhm.
others. So if you want your employee to act a certain way, you better be acting that way.
Yep.
And this is, I don't know if I've talked about it on this show, but you can only expect someone to be at the level you yourself are at.
I don't think we've really dug into it too much, but I agree with you. Never ask somebody to do
Mhm.
something you wouldn't do yourself.
That and never, I expect something from someone that you've not achieved.
Oh,
That
right.
level. And that's really more of the, kind of the Lucy, the hippy dippy.
Oh,
I'm at this spiritual level of development, or I don't get triggered anymore, which is never going to happen. But I expect you to never get triggered.
now. Oh, yep, that one. That makes sense.
That sort of thing. So
Yep.
it's like, I'm still struggling with this, but I expect you to have mastered it.
I now get up at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
every morning and work out. Why aren't you, spouse? That is not happening in our house. I want to be very clear, but I could see very much, if one person decides to start getting up in the morning, the other person's not a morning person.
But that's saying they have reached a level and they expect this is
Yeah.
saying you're expecting this when you're here.
Oh, so it's like I'm going to sleep in, but you get up
Yeah.
and go, oh, yeah.
But it's usually not that much that concrete.
Sure.
I'm expecting my 15-year-old daughter not to get triggered by XYZ when I still do.
Then you do. Yep.
Yeah, it's like that's not fair. That's not fair. So why do we do it? Why do we go for being liked rather than being respected? Why do we go for being liked rather than getting results?
Do you want me to guess?
Sure,
It's easier?
it's easier.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's one of them. It is. It's easier.
It's way
You can do it in the moment. You get that hit. You don't have to follow up. You don't have to do the actual work.
No, good vibes, good
Yeah.
feelings. Let's
It's
roll.
Being liked gives us that instant gratification, while being respected is the long haul.
Mhm.
And I was listening to, there's a very, very good podcast called The Happiness Lab
Oh,
that I recommend to
I've heard that. I've never
anyone.
listened to it, but I have heard of it.
It is really good. And so I believe she is a psychologist who does it, but she always brings on a different expert to talk
Oh.
about whatever the topic is. And this one was about YOLO.
You only live.
Yes. And it was saying that we've gotten this YOLO culture and it's being misinterpreted because people see it as you only live once. I might as well quit this job and move to Argentina for a year. You only live once. I might as well go through all the girls I want to date
Yep.
instead of, and that it's like the next shiny thing. And so this is about what happiness, deep down happiness is about commitment. It's about committing to one person and putting in the work to
Yeah.
make that relationship work. It's about committing to a community and being part of it and making that work. And that our culture has kind of lost that because we do the YOLO thing. Well, this isn't working right now. It's going to be hard to make this work.
Yep.
So I'm going to go over here and get that quick hit again
Yeah.
and just jumping from place to place. And then you never develop the deep stuff that really matters. And you wonder why your life's kind of empty.
Well, and I see it in the networking world. People start a group and the group's not going great. So the guy that started it's like, all right, this one's done. And then they start a new
Yeah.
one 2 weeks
Yes.
later, thinking it's just going to, and you know what's
Yes.
even more dumb? I've seen this and they brought the same people back.
Oh, geez.
It's like they didn't succeed before. What makes you
Let's try
think
it.
magically
Well,
it's going
now
to
we're
work
at
now?
a different bar. So it might work. So do you know where YOLO actually came from?
I don't.
I think this is really interesting. It was the drummer for the Grateful Dead.
Okay. He had 2 arms.
You're thinking Def
Def Leppard only had 1 arm.
Grateful Dead, Def Leppard. How did the anyway? So
There's
he
a
was
D.
wanting to, and this is from the podcast. They actually interviewed him.
Oh, that's cool.
He was wanting a place that was kind of out, not in the city,
Okay.
because he played a lot of loud music, and he didn't want the Deadheads finding him and camping out on his doorstep.
Oh, yep.
And so they found this ranch that was kind of out in the middle of nowhere, and he decided he really wanted this. And he called the realtor, and they said that the people were asking such an astronomical amount of money that they pulled it from the market because it was ridiculous.
Oh,
And so he's just like, okay, back to the drawing board. And then he's like, wait a minute, let's go try it. Let's go talk to him.
okay.
So he went out and talked to the owners. They were willing to sell it, but it was still way more money than he thought he could afford. But he's like, I really want this. YOLO, let's buy it.
That's
That's the story.
and then the Deadheads ran with it.
And I don't know how it blew up after that.
Yeah.
How it really actually blew up. I think Drake wrote a song.
Okay,
And that's how it blew up to the masses. But he was the one who
the
initially.
first one to say it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's a really interesting podcast. Happiness Lab.
Happiness.
And each one's like 28 minutes. So, I mean, you can listen
Whoa,
to it.
but let's not talk about the length of podcasts because
Right.
it doesn't matter the length; it matters the content
Exactly.
and the rigmarole between the 2 hosts.
Rigmarole.
Rigmarole.
Rabble rouser. Okay. Gabber snasher. Anyway, so let's move over into parenting really quick.
Yeah.
We're not going to spend a whole lot of time on it, but being liked versus respected and getting results as a parent. Because when it comes down to it, what are the results you need as a parent?
Well, I have 2 answers for that. 1, to get your kid to heaven. 2, your kid doesn't die.
How about this? From the moment they are born, your role is to prepare them to be on their own.
Well, that sounds much better than both my answers because they kind of coincide.
And when you really think about that as a parent, it sucks.
It does.
Because this is the person you love the most in the world, and you're preparing them to go away from you.
Yep. Parenting is the hardest job because it's the only job you have to get worse at as you progress
Mhm.
into it.
It's so tough.
It
and
is.
and so many people do it the wrong way. None of us do it the right way all the
Right.
time,
Right.
but some do better than others. And a big misstep is erring on the side of being your kid's friend.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want you as their friend. They have friends. They need you to be their parent, and kids need boundaries and rules to feel safe and loved and to thrive in their environment. They need them. That is how you parent. You give them boundaries, you give them rules that are consistent and
Fair.
and fair.
And fair.
Yeah. That's what they need And that's not to say you can't have fun with them.
No,
That
and
you can't play games and take them places and do all the things that, bond you,
right.
but you can't be their friend.
No, and the two pieces of when a parent wants to be their kid's friend. One, they lose all disrespect, and usually the relationship goes much worse once the child gets older. Or two, that is the parent's best friend.
Oh, yeah.
And when they go off to do their own thing, the parent almost holds them back.
Oh, absolutely.
Because now they're losing their best friend.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think that is a huge challenge.
Or even if it's not the
With
friend
kids.
thing, but they've put everything they have into that kid.
Right.
Then when the kid's gone, they have nothing.
Yep.
They don't know who they are as a person. They
have no
don't.
friends. They have no
Usually their marriage is
hobbies.
shit because.
Because they're focused.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
then also you can get two parents. One does the friend thing and the kid likes him more. The other one's trying to do the respect thing. I mean, what a dividing
Mhm.
factor between two parents. And you always get of course, fun dad. And this happens a lot with divorced
It does.
parents.
Yep.
Because, dad has them 2 days a week. He can take them to Disneyland and buy them shit. And he doesn't have to get them up in the morning and make sure they do their homework and, lecture them. So, but who do they usually end up respecting at the end of the day? The one who put in the work.
Yep. The parent that gave them the boundaries.
And I think it's important too that things change as you raise your kids. And I think that as they are children, meaning I'll just say before they graduate high school,
Okay.
your job is to love them and to love them unconditionally. And that's not to say let them get away with stuff,
Right.
but it's saying even if they make mistakes, I still love you. Even if this, I still love you. I don't think respect should come in you to them. I don't think you need to respect your kids as their kids. I think they need to earn that from you once they become adults. And it is very possible to continue to love a child who never earns your respect.
Right. Yep.
But I think once they become adults, I think it is their job to earn your respect.
Yeah. Well, you had to do it.
And
the
you
first
also
18
had
years,
to raise
so-
them in a way that they can.
Correct.
That's kind of the sucky thing because a lot of the times you did a crap job at parenting and then you expect them to become this adult.
Be
who can
amazing. Go be
earn
better
your
than me.
respect. But yeah. So I want to end.
I've been waiting for this quote the whole time.
It's a quote from Reba McEntire, and I actually read it in my People magazine, which I got for a while because I didn't realize it had auto-renewed. And I kept I'd come home and be like, Todd, I'm still getting this magazine. I didn't pay for it. I thought it was just the greatest
You
thing.
paid for
I
it.
was totally paying for
You
it.
paid for
Finally found it on my PayPal account. I was like, yeah, no free lunches. But I think it was doing a quote from her latest book is what this was from.
Okay.
But this is what she told her son. I'll always love you, but I want other people to like you. So don't be a little jerk. Don't be a spoiled brat.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
This
Yep.
is plain language. It's my job to love you. I will always love you. But it's my job to make sure you can go out in the world and develop friendships and connections. And even if you're a spoiled little jerk, I will still love you, but I'm failing.
Yep.
I think is kind of the gist of what she was saying. So again, the result that we want here is for our child to be prepared to go out on his or her own and have a fulfilling, productive, and happy life, whatever that might mean to them. That is the result. And when you focus on being liked versus getting that result, things tend to go awry.
Yeah.
Anything you'd like to add to being liked versus being respected and or getting results?
I want to be more liked. Hence why I kept raising my hand. But no. I think you nailed it. No, you did a phenomenal job on this one.
you.
And I was excited for this one because I know I feel parenting has given me the power, not the power, the guidance to lean more towards let's be respected here.
Yeah.
And I think that bled over to my leadership and everything. But I mean, you saw how many times I raised my hand. I definitely want everyone to like me in the room.
I would think that the majority, I would say you're in the majority.
I'll be in the majority today.
So a little plug for Pixel Fire Marketing. We would love to go through the customer journey with you
Oh.
so we could help you get results. And if you would like any guidance on that, please reach out. All of our contact information is going to be right there for you. So thank you so much for listening, watching, whatever you're doing, helping me make fun of Brandon. I always enjoy that.
Yeah, no, you should watch because I laugh at everything.
Yes. But we really do appreciate it. Please like, share, do all the fun stuff that helps us get more listeners. And with that, we will talk to you next time.